Hi, I am HC Gilje. I am a Norwegian artist who work mainly in the field of image, light and sound. I am quite interested in the relation between light and spaces, physical spaces. So the last few years I've been working quite a lot with empty spaces as a departure point, and then see how light and also sound can transform this space. How I work is that I call it somehow conversations with spaces, because I somehow initiate a dialogue with the space by projecting light and sound into the space, and the space feeds that back to me somehow. It's with whatever, because of the physical structure and the resonance of the space, for instance, and that kind of influences how I experience the space, and that again creates some sort of feedback loop between me and the ongoing process. So I start more or less without any particular idea, except that I want to explore the space, and I've done that over about a 10-day period for this piece here. So I spent maybe the first 7-8 days just improvising and doing a lot of precise masking. That's kind of the way I work, is to mask out certain parts of the space or certain forms, for instance. So here I worked a lot on masking out the columns to be able to create more specific lighting, basically. So it becomes more like advanced lighting, basically. The sound modules is something I introduced, or something I made for this work, actually. Before, I've had sound also placed at different parts in the space, but they've been more or less hidden in the ceiling, so well, at least quite discreet, so people haven't noticed them. But this time I wanted to integrate it more into the actual work, so I made the sound modules, which are basically standing on the floor without any cables, so they can basically be put anywhere on the floor and they don't mess up the floor. So it's Arduino with a wave shield and a wireless receiver, so it can receive information about what sounds it should play. So I work with my sound. I often work with either moving the sound around in the space, as well as the same as I do with moving the light around in the space, but also the way the sounds combine, in addition to the way the sound reverbs in the space creates some more kind of a drony texture. Compared to hearing a single source, you get a quite different experience from hearing like this chorus of sound speakers. Another thing which I worked on for this piece is, because of the columns and the shadows cast by the columns, I decided to work to kind of extend the shadows by creating kind of a fake shadows going the opposite way of the columns. So they are also kind of a strong visual element in my piece. So the last 2 days of the process is then basically to try to compose some sort of movement through the space with some of the elements I've been working on. So that's, in one way, one of the more interesting parts of the process for me, is actually this, how to structure something which is both involves space, movement, sound and light into something coherent. And for me it's important that it's somehow a relation between a physical state and a mental state for the visitor. So I spend a lot of time just sitting and watching and listening and walking around in the space myself to to find out if it works as I want. So it's more kind of also a resonance with my bodily experience of it, I guess.